Welcome to Hex Italy. This is the first stream that we're doing for the Italian community. But look, I'm just going to bring the guys up. I've got here my mate Bloobum.
Bloobum. I'm a Bloobum.
No,
yeah.
blue. No, culo blue.
Culo blue.
Culo blue. Culo blue.
Culo blue.
And we have our special guest, GabroMastro.
GabroMastro, el maestro.
Grazie per avermi invitato.
Prego. Thanks for
Molto
coming.
bene.
Now, what
It's my utmost pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure. I'm so happy you came on. I was telling you before we started that I was so glad when you responded and you said that you were happy to come on and chat because, you are an Italian Hexican, and that is very important. That's a very important thing.
Yeah.
We need more Italian Hexicans. But B, you are also an excellent. You're a YouTuber, and you've got excellent content that you've put out. Now, you've only got a few things that you've put out so far, but the quality of what you've put out has really just been spectacular. And I saw that quality, and I thought I want you to come on stream. I want people to know about you. I want people to go and subscribe to your channel. If you're watching this, most likely you are either Italian or you've got family that's Italian, or you know someone that's Italian. If you do,
you like spaghetti.
Or you like spaghetti.
I love spaghetti too.
Or you like Italian women. Look, whatever it is, you can refer them to Discourse Syndicate channel, but also you can tell them about Gabro's channel, which explains crypto, but has been explaining Hex and Pulse to Italians in beautifully explained language. So I think that's an important thing. So I'm just going to pop up your.
Thank you very much.
Subscribe to GabroMastro. So if you search YouTube for GabroMastro, you'll find his YouTube channel, and you'll see his content there. So I want everyone to go and subscribe to this gentleman's channel. And go support a fellow Hexican, an Italian Hexican. But look, we're here now. We're on stream, and I would love to hear from you, Gabriel. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, thank you. Let's say that I don't come from the crypto world. I come from another one that is the Forex. So about currencies, and it was my first experience because I remember that I got to know about that from a friend, and I was so far from all of this because I studied law in Italy. And when this friend of mine started talking to me about, there is this thing that we can trading, we can make money. It's about money. So we started a demo account, and I felt seized, like, oh, it looks like I can make money. It's beautiful. And then we understood that it was not like that, because we started trying with a little bit of real money, and we lost. And then I continued studying for years. I loved what I was, doing. I started learning English for that, because my English was completely, I don't want to say zero level, but it was like, I just knew how to say, hi, my name is Gabriele. And I decided to learn more about that. I thought that I already understood that most of the material was in English. And then I remember that in 2017, my father started talking about Bitcoin. And I was like, but what is Bitcoin? And he said, I don't know. It's, they're talking about this. It's a cryptocurrency. It's a big yellow bee. And maybe you would like to understand more about that, because and I said, no, this is BS, I don't want to know about this. I'm sure that it's something that I would never like. It's a scam, probably. I was one of those ones who said that, probably it's a scam. I didn't even know what was that. And then he told me, in his wisdom, like, just do a small research. You're good in researching. Check what cryptocurrencies are. Let's see. I did it, and the gate of my mind got opened completely. I was like, oh my gosh, where have I been till now? I have to understand more about that. And I fell in love with Bitcoin, the whole cryptocurrency world. And then after a while, I have to say, not very long time ago, I heard about Hex. And I was like, okay, probably it's a scam because I read that it's a scam. And after a while, it came up in my mind, wait a moment, you said the same about Bitcoin. Are you sure that you want to define it as scam without researching, just because somebody else wrote about it this way?
Yeah.
And I said, no, I want to research about it. I found Richard Hart. I found all the other Hexicans that were talking about it. I researched, and I decided really to dive into it. And I understood how important it is to give info to the community. I wanted even to pay back because I am sure that Hexicans understand this thing properly, because I have noticed the big difference there is between I know it's not beautiful to compare, but if we take many people who invest in Bitcoin and in cryptocurrencies generally talking, let alone memes and all these things, and they're saying that my video is lagging. You confirm that it's lagging, or is just? Do you see me well? You hear me well?
The audio seems fine to me. A couple of times I've seen your video freeze, but the audio keeps catching up. But I don't know what's happening on the YouTube side. I'm just looking through Restream.
Yeah,
I
I can
hope
hear
it's
you
okay.
fine.
Okay. So just to finish, I understood that Hexicans really love to understand how Hex works. It's not just something to invest in and be like, I want to make fast money. I do it because there is a big hype around the project. I want to understand how it works, and I want actually to educate more people. That's what I have seen in the Italian Mexican community. And generally talking, this is the most important message that Richard Hart brings to people. I have seen that, and I completely agree. I decided to open a YouTube channel because I have even this passion about sharing. I remember when I attended an HR course, and they told me you should do something in which you teach, you explain, you educate for what you can, because it's visible that you have this passion. And even because of the acting academy that I did, maybe it helped. I decided to do it, and I was freaking out when I started, and now it's becoming a beautiful experience. And being here is already a beautiful outcome, and I'm really, I'm eager to talk about Hex and PulseChain, and even the curiosity about what's going to happen later. So thank you again for inviting me, and now we are all in. I'm all in this world, and that's all.
Yeah. Oh, that's what a great story that you just told us, mate. Yeah. Well, look, I think what you just said there about doing something with acting, Bloobum has had some experience. Well, you are, I would say, you are an actor, right?
Yeah. Yes, I am an actor. Have been an actor. What kind of? You went to theatre school or something in Italy, or you're very articulate, by the way. You're very articulate, even in English. Your
English is just
super, really good. Yeah,
absolutely
fantastic. And I listened to a bit of your Italian, and that sounded amazing as well. But yeah, so what kind of acting did you do?
It was more about cinema, but even something about theater, but it was more cinema oriented. We were studying a lot how they built movies, and we were trying to take some scenes from those movies and understand I remember the teacher was very focused on how these marvelous actors were diving into the character, what they were thinking, how they were getting ready for that. Sometimes even in a little bit crazy way, because you know that these big American actors are really, they get ready for
method actors. Yeah.
Like actor studio method. And we experienced something very similar, and I have to say it was outstanding, I have to say. But about Italian, it's even my passion about learning my own language and trying, to improve it and speak in a clear way. Because I remember even when I came abroad, and right now I'm in Vienna and not in Italy. And I remember when I came here and I helped people learning Italian, and they told me like, it's beautiful the way you speak because you don't mix words, and I understand what you say. I'm able to grasp it and don't get lost in some dialects, very weird accents. So I decided to continue that way.
Yeah. Well, let's dive into Hex. Can I ask, Gabriel, what was it about Hex that caught your attention specifically, apart from the scam? But do you remember a moment? Do you remember a moment when you thought to yourself, when it just started to make sense to you, the idea of locking something up in the future for your future self?
The right moment in which I started understanding Hex better was not a moment, because the first thing I have seen was the big thing, like how much Hex did as a performance, and I was like, okay, but I want to research more. And then I started watching the live streams of Richard Hart, but from really old ones. And the more I was listening to him, the more I understood, even looking at how he got attacked by people saying like, it's a scam, you're a scammer. And I was like, I know how it feels when somebody tells you something that you're not. I was like, I paid attention to the ways he was answering with the precision and the knowledge, the expertise that he had. And it really got my attention because I understood that they were not able to answer back with the same precision. You understand what I mean? And I thought like, wait a second, we have a product that actually the way he's describing it is amazing, because we have a CD, certificate of deposit, but directly on blockchain. Wait a moment, is it really possible? I mean, I had never heard about that before. Wow, then we know that it has a very small inflation. It has a system of staking that I have never seen before. It's compared to Bitcoin, but without the mining farms. It's like, there is no mining. It's based on the proof of stake. We don't, put the environment in danger. The price goes up so much. And there are all these features that make Hex so amazing. And I was like, wow, I want to understand more. And then I started researching and reading. And actually, it was something that was developing inside me. So it was not a precise moment. It was a process, and it's still moving. Because then, even when I got into PulseChain, I never thought like, okay, now I dive into PulseChain and I forget about Hex. They are very interconnected, because it's visible that they want to make people's lives better. And let's say, removing the middleman, removing that, being, like decentralized as much as possible, applying all the things that Satoshi Nakamoto wanted with Bitcoin, but in a concrete way. And I started loving the community, because I have seen the community so, goal-oriented and like helping each other in such a way. Like, I don't have to brag that I know more than you about Hex, you're stupid, I understand, you're a newbie. No, it's like, okay, explain, what's your doubt? You don't understand T-shares? Oh, you don't understand staking? Oh, yeah, I can explain. And that's what really caught my attention.
There is a lot of that. But that was nurtured from day one when a lot of us came into the community, and you go into the chat and you're asking questions, and one thing that struck me, like I'll tell you a story of, like, in the early days that I was in a chat room with one of the devs. I'll mention it's Dev Kyle, and I was, and this is a dev who had a lot to do with the final product that is Hex, and he had created a contract, a dollar cost average contract, where you could just put in an amount into this contract, and then it would slowly, just on a day-by-day basis, it would divide that amount into the adoption amplifier, which was a phase. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the adoption amplifier. It was the launch phase of Hex. And I went in there not knowing anything. I was asking questions, and it just struck me that, this dev, who probably had plenty of other more important things to do, had the time to explain things to me when I had a problem. he was there to answer my questions. And look, I still annoy him to this day. Like I will still message him and annoy I know I'm annoying him. I know I am, but he's still very, very kind and writes back always. And that's, you're right. I mean, there hasn't been anyone in the community that I've come across that hasn't been willing to help out. So that, I think that's a really important mark of the community. It's a really important thing that we do in this community. We help each other.
Yes, absolutely. I can really witness that. And of course, it can happen that there is somebody, because it happened even in the Italian Mexican Telegram group, that there was somebody trying, to be a little bit more like getting the attention and not really oriented in helping people. But it's just 1-2 persons. It's not something that generally happens.
It can happen, and when that happens in the Hex chat, they get kicked out.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like natural selection. It's like if you're not helping, you'll get booted out. So the only people left are the ones who are going to help.
Yes, and I see, for example, just mentioning again Richard Hart, he has a very strong personality. So I have read many comments. I read a lot through internet, and I've read many comments like, oh, but I don't like him personally because he brags about money, because it's like this, he's like that. But I think that we can make another step and understand that, okay, we can like him personally, or we can even say, like, I don't really agree with what he does, with his money, whatever, but it's his business. What we should really focus on is what he teaches, the concept, what's behind it. Because if it's really true, and that's my way of thinking, if it's really true that we have to remove the middleman, let's remove it everywhere, even about how much we can like a person or not. Because having a leader is a good thing, but following a leader and thinking like, if I cannot be a sheep and he's my shepherd, then I don't want to participate. No, it's not like that. It's not what he wants. He wants to educate people. He wants people to be independent. And that's why I insist so much, about Hex and even PulseChain, like, don't rely on the work of somebody else. You mint your own coins, you do your own things. What you earn, it's your merit. It's not because I gave you something. It's not because, I'm paying you, somebody's paying you something. You are getting it because you studied, you learned about it, and you decided to move, to have an active action. And that's what I understood.
And the way it's designed, it's a contract. You run the code. You interact with the contract. You run the function. There's no one else. There's just the community. There is the community.
Yeah, and that really sets the tone for the whole culture, doesn't it? Because it really is a whole lot of people who are just people who are ready to get up and do things, roll up their sleeves, and if they see something lacking, then they'll create it, or you know what I mean, like. And
that's
you even just see it in the
streamers. That's why there's so many streamers.
So many streamers, and you see in Hex Chat, which is just, or Pulse Chat now is where everyone hangs out. It's just constantly going. Like, it's constantly people there ready to talk to new people coming in and give them the good information, point them in the right direction. Like it's. I mean, I remember saying this when or thinking this and saying it later. Like when I first came into Hex, saying, wow, this is a real decentralized autonomous organization. And we're seeing it emerge in front of our eyes. And you can't give a decentralized autonomous organization, you can't impose structure on it. It has to be an emergent property that just happens through people wanting to do it. You know what I mean? And solving the problems. And there are tensions in there, absolutely. You know what I mean? There's characters and there's personalities that clash and all of that kind of stuff. But in the end, it's like the thing just kind of rolls on and becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think the tone absolutely is set by the contract, by the Hex contract, where you do everything. You have to stake your coin, your tokens. You have to mint them yourself, and Oh, it's just a beautiful thing to be a part of, a beautiful thing to see. And it's super powerful as well, like in terms of what it gives these individuals in terms of meaning in their lives. Like, we're seeing so many people who are just dedicating their careers now to Hex, like especially a lot of the OGs. They've become independently wealthy, and now they're just like, okay, well, now it's my full-time job just to promote and to inform and to, all whatever, or in whatever way I can do, you know what I mean? And
it's a giving back.
Yeah.
And like what
Absolutely.
you said there, that Richard has sort of instilled some values, like from the get-go. There were some core values, and one of them was don't expect any work from others. And I think it's that point, don't expect any work from others, that made a lot of us think, well, we've got to do something. And then we saw like back in the earlier days, we saw guys like the Hexologist, this guy who's just he's just streaming every single day. He's just out there streaming every single day. And like, that was someone that we could get behind. It's like, look, one of us, like this guy's one of us, and we could watch this guy doing that. And then RG3, does sets up the Discourse Syndicate and starts streaming, on a regular basis. And other people, like there's, in the chat, there's like Hodl Dog. Hodl Dog was doing I'm not sure if Hodl Dog was doing every single
much,
day.
Wasn't he?
It was pretty, but like high quality content. And it just goes to show you, like, a lot of people just took it on board. They took on this idea that they couldn't rely on someone else to bring Hex to the attention of others. They decided to take it upon themselves and put the info out there, So, I mean, look, I'm not sure, Hodl Dog, correct me if I'm wrong. Some of your early videos, you were like, was it 0.1 of an ETH you're putting in a day?
Don't tell him.
No, he was no, it was live. Hey, it's out there.
It's out there. People can go research it if they want. He's putting a little bit.
Yeah, he was throwing.
Now
that was back. But you got to remember, back then that was like not what it is now. Like a 0.1 back then was like $20 a day or 30 or $40 a day. It was a different thing. But it just goes to show you, like, everyone's involved. I don't know everyone in the community, but I sort of do. Like, I mean, I don't know them on a personal level, but I sort of I've spoken to a lot of guys in the community, and the Italian community who's watching, you guys are a part of our community as well. You are 100% a part of it. Just because some of you you're probably not listening if you don't understand English, but even if you don't understand English, you're still a part of our community. And we are going to when we're going to finish up this stream in maybe 20 minutes to half an hour, and we're going to do an Italian. We're going to do an Italian run through. So hopefully some of the I'll post it in the Italian chat and get some of the Italians in here.
Yeah, someone has to community. Something about the Italian community. It's really we have some YouTubers that are really good in talking about crypto, and the few of them that mention Hex because somebody asked them about it, they defined it as scam, most of them, without even saying why. And I know that they do an amazing job in what they do, so really, I'm not attacking. Actually, I watch many of their videos, and they do an amazing job. But it's like maybe this concept, this prejudice, like Hex is a scam. And I see that in the Italian community, I have to say this thing because it's true. I haven't found another Italian channel that talks about Hex in a deep way and in a positive way. Same thing about PulseChain. So, as you said in the beginning, when we were having our, a small private conversation, the Italian community needs to have somebody talking about it in not in a good way, because we have to talk it in a good way, but at least to give good pieces of info. And then, of course, people are free to decide. Nobody has to invest in X. This is not financial advice. We always repeat it. We are not saying to anybody, oh, if you invest in X, you're going to have this, this, and that. As Richard Hart said several times, everything could go to zero. We never know what's going to happen later. Even Bitcoin, whatever, can be that the world ends tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen. But of course, we have to rely and understand the elements that we have. We have to rely on them. We cannot just use a crystal ball. We have to rely on what we have. And about the work, like not relying on the work of others, this is true even about information, because when I want to educate somebody, I know that I am the first one who needs to be educated. And if there are very good YouTubers, like I watch yours and other people's English videos, then if I understand something more, I can share it. I can give it to the Italian community in Italian. Sometimes they ask in the chat, oh, I would like to understand that thing, but I don't understand English. Can you explain this thing to me, please? Yeah, there is a video in Italian that talks about it. Here we go. And it's amazing. And really shout out even to the Italian community because many of them are so present in the chat room, always answering questions, explaining things. Some of them have a very high level in this knowledge. And this is the thing I have heard many Mexicans saying, like, I want to pay back. I want to pay back. I want to pay back. And it's not very common to hear this.
In other communities, yeah.
This is true. Look, I actually, an example of this, there was someone in the chat very early on who wrote, his name is Hexicano Italiano, and he wrote, I would like to participate in the stream. I am an OG, and I need to speak with you guys about my hex.com website translation. So this is the perfect example. Right, the perfect example of an Italian who has gone out of his way. He's gone and translated hex.com into Italian.
Yeah.
And I wrote back to him, but I haven't heard back from him. So like just an example, if you are listening Hexicano Italiano, please type something in the chat and we'll get you on the stream. And if you don't feel confident in your English, you can jump on the Italian one. That's not a problem.
And I think at the moment they're like people are offering to pay people to translate the website and hex guides and stuff like that into other Asian languages.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there, I think they're looking for, it's Philippines. They speak I forget the name of the language they speak, but they're looking for that, and they're looking for Korean. And if you get in touch with some hex people and you are able to do that, there is paid work for those translations as well.
Paolo, you find me GabroMastro on Telegram. You can text me. Maybe it's easier this way, because the name you see here is the one that I'm on Telegram.
And if there's someone, why not to have? I mean, because I can't speak Italian, so why don't when you guys switch to Italian for this stream? If there's Italian people out there, why don't you can give them the link and jump on?
And you're in Hex, if you're Italian and you're in Hex, Paolo, if you want to come on, we're going to do a stream in Italian.
Tell them in Italian. Tell them in Italian.
Gabro, I'll let you do that.
What I have to say in Italian?
You want to invite Paolo onto the stream in Italian?
Paolo, dopo facciamo lo streaming in italiano. Se vuoi entrare, puoi partecipare anche tu in modo da renderci partecipi di quello che stai facendo. Quindi resta in linea.
Yes. So I'm actually having a document translated in Italian as well at the moment. I'm just waiting for them to get back to me. There's a document called Hex Scam, and it goes through and it debunks every single thing that people have said, and it's a fantastic document. And I thought it's almost the most useful document for anyone who comes at you with a cynical perspective. It's the perfect document for that person, and I just wanted to have that. Debunks all the rubbish. basically.
It's funny
Even
though,
if there are
because
people that think it's a scam, that website, they say like, oh, you know why I know it's a scam? Because there is a website, Hex Scam, that explains why it's a scam.
Yeah. It's funny as well. It's like you've got to have a certain level of analytical skills still, you know what I mean? Like to be able even to discern why, that is not a very valid argument or whatever. Like it's really dividing people that way as well, isn't it? Like even when you can
they always
present
have
them
said,
an argument, but they're still kind of like don't comprehend it or something, It's
for a long time in Hex, it's been said that Hex is an IQ test. A lot of people have said that.
It totally is, hey?
It takes time. It takes time. You need to really look at it to get it. You need to really look into it to understand what it's about, And unless you do that, it's sort of, I mean, there is, it's funny. We found in the community that it's almost been easier to tell people who have nothing to do with crypto about Hex. It's been easier to teach them about Hex than it has been to teach people already indoctrinated in the crypto industry, because you were talking about Satoshi Nakamoto's intentions earlier on. What were his intentions? Well, I think what we have in crypto today, I don't think that's I don't think they were hearing his intentions. I don't think that's what Satoshi Nakamoto was intending on having. But I really do think that Hex is closer to those, closer to what he wanted than the rest of crypto is, for sure. It's decentralized.
And isn't it amazing? Like there's so many like chicks who are like getting into it now. Like crypto has never had so many women in it. And like it's like you're seeing on Twitter now, there's just like tons of women getting into it. Hey, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's true. There's we've got Sammy Chica. Who else is there? There's
I mean, you go onto Twitter now, and there are tons. There's like heaps and heaps of women coming out of the woodwork who are like, like for years I was in crypto and it was like you never saw women at all. Maybe you saw one or two and they were kind of like.
What do you think that is? What do you think that is?
I think women have really good bullshit detectors. And I think that the women can have seen in a lot of the crypto space a lot of the bullshit and they haven't wanted to get involved. And now they've seen Hex and they understand it. And so they're just kind of like willing to put their weight behind it. You know what I mean? Their social status weight behind it and put their faces to it. And
do you think that the whole,
that's my guess,
the whole like blockchain like the CD thing has something to do with it as well? Like the fact that it's like a CD has the idea of being something that's safer, a safer option than other sort of investments, because you put something away, you lock it up, and then you get something extra at the end of it.
Look, maybe, I don't know. I mean, the other thing is that there's so many ex-army people who seem to be hexicans, and I remember asking a few times, "Wow, how does?" And so many martial artists, people who've done martial arts as well, and but especially specifically about the ex kind of military people, I was like, how did that happen? And Sapper was like, it's because they can see through the bullshit.
Yeah,
they're great bullshit detectors, and so
I think I have a theory on that. I think that if you've been in martial arts or you've been in the military, you're probably used to people in positions of like higher up in the hierarchy to you, like being very, very straightforward, like being very honest with what's going on and just telling it like it is, right? So when you hear someone like Richard Hart, like just lay it down the way, like just it's making sense. It's making absolute sense, and you can tell it's different from any other YouTube channel that you've seen in crypto. You know, and it just resonated. I mean, with me, it just resonated. It's like I just started going back to the channel, you know. But I think that might have something to do with it. It's just like takes you back to that time when you were, you know, like my martial arts coach back in the day, he was a sadistic person who just made us do things that, you know, people shouldn't have to do, you know, just made us suffer. Like, you know,
yeah, I did I trained capoeira for like 7 years, and my mestre was like he put us in some full-on situations for sure, like tested us, you know what I mean? Like every time we went up to Sydney, his brother would just basically try to beat the shit out of us, and like that was like we had to be ready for it, you know, because he was like, I want to get you ready for when you go to Brazil or whatever. I want you have to be able to defend yourselves, you know. You have to be in there with someone who wants to hurt you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And oh man, there's plenty of times he hurt me. But you kind of get used to it, you know. You kind of once you're in that scenario, you're over that initial kind of like adrenaline, full on shock and everything. You get kind of like the ability to calm down under pressure, and you know. Yeah. But yeah, he was full on my mestre for sure.
So let me just bring it back to the Italian Hex Italia. So there's actually a Telegram chat room called Hex Italia, and I'll just bring it up on the screen. It's so if you're Italian or you've got Italian family and you want them to learn about Hex, and you can get them to go into this Telegram chat room. It's t.me/Italia Hex, but the name of the group is Hex Italia. And there's some very, very good admins in there who I actually don't spend that much time in there because my Italian is not good enough to help people. Sometimes I'll, you know, if I start trying to help people, I start stumbling, you know. So, but there are great guys in there. I actually hope some of them are around when we do the Italian component. Maybe one of them can jump in. I know Bloobum, you've spoken with one of the chaps. You were on stream with us the other time. And Gabriel, you probably know some of the guys in that chat as well. Have you been into this chat?
But you mean talking privately with them or in the main chat?
Have you? Yeah, in either. Have you been? You've been there. I think I saw you in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Even privately sometimes, but never having, you know, sometimes few times even having a call, you know, because we decided to talk about something. But generally talking, I don't interact a lot in the chat because sometimes it's really too much for me because I even have to prepare content. So it's just for that. Yeah. But it's possible even to, most of the content is really high quality. So it's not, you know, those things like sending memes and things that we can see in many groups. Most of the times it's about real questions, analyzing the situation, the chart, even looking at the chart because it's good to do it. We ask for opinions to each other, and it's always good. I mean, every time that I look at the chat, there is something more to learn. It's good to participate. It's very well, it educates people, just being there and even just reading.
You know, I heard a rumor in the Hex chat room, and it was a rumor that Richard Hart had died on an overdose of mushrooms. I heard that in the Italian chat room.
Yeah.
Obviously not true. That's, you know, everyone out there, that never happened. It was just a rumor.
That's pretty much impossible.
Pretty much impossible, yeah. Impossible because, you know, apparently you can't die from that stuff, but probably more impossible because I just can't imagine Richard being the type of guy who's going to go take mushrooms, hey?
Doing mushies? Why not? You don't reckon?
No.
Right time, right place, maybe.
Yeah. I want to just give a massive shout out to Mr. Nardo, one for the win. Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. We really appreciate that. We really do appreciate it. Italy for the win. Italy did win.
Man, you knocked us out of the World Cup in.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, with the European Cup, I remember I was with my friends who were jumping everywhere. It's been really beautiful.
Yeah,
Italy robbed Australia though. Italy robbed Australia
back in the day. That was
it 2002 or 6 or
like
something?
20 years ago.
Long time ago. Yeah, a long time ago.
That wasn't a penalty
from abroad.
It was such a dive, man.
Yeah. We will never forget that, Gabro. I was watching that, and you know, I love Italy, but you know, I also love Australia, and I just felt so bad when that happened.
Of course, it's understandable.
I was conflicted. I was totally.
I know
conflicted.
even some people from Italy, they're Italians, and they spent almost all their life abroad. And when it happened that Italy was, having a match with the other team, they were like, I don't know, I love my country, but I live here, and now I don't know what to do.
Which to go for.
Yeah, and then they say, okay, whoever's going to win, cool.
Yeah, we go for both. That's it.
All the Italians watching right now are saying, you are not a real Italian to me. Not a true Italian. No, it's so tell me, what are your thoughts on PulseChain, Gabriel? Do you think it's coming soon, or what do you think's happening?
That's a good question. If we're talking about the mainnet, I read a lot about it, and you have these opinions like, oh, it's going to happen. Somebody said even in October. I'm like, how can you think this is going to happen in October? You don't know what you're talking about. Let's say that most of the opinions are like November, December, most of them for December. I actually have one point in my mind, which I think is the best one by my side, is that I don't care if it's in November, December, January, or February. I know that they are working very hard. I know that using the testnet is very important, because they have to understand if there are bugs, if everything works fine, and it's better to wait more and work on it properly, and having a very good mainnet that works, diligently, properly, that is able to be resilient against hacker attacks. Then having something like, okay, we have the announcement, mainnet is going to be live in 3,
Absolutely.
2, 1, let's go. And one day later, everything gets screwed because they get attacked, there are problems.
That would be the worst. That would be so bad, yeah.
Exactly. PulseChain is very important, because now we have Hex that is a finished product. It doesn't have to add anything more. It had 3 audits, 2 for the code, 1 from the economic, and I'm talking like Richard Hart, okay, 1 from the economical part. So we know that it works. It's there. The code is immutable. It's that one. Okay, we have it. We have just to think if we like it or not. We started. Okay, but PulseChain is in development. It's work in progress, and we really need. And we know that the team is very diligent. Richard Hart cares about it a lot. So in my opinion, it's going to be something very disruptive. It has, of course, people compare it with Binance Smart Chain, Polygon. There is this thing like, oh, but why do you think that PulseChain is better? Don't you think that we are already okay because we have Binance Smart Chain and Polygon? I think that it's a very good improvement to have these solutions. I think it's very good for Ethereum. But I even understand that there are some differences, because for example, that PulseChain doesn't have admin keys, which is a very, very big improvement. Not having admin keys, it's a big thing. And people, most of the times, they don't even know what it means. And then we have the most important airdrop in the history, because on PulseChain, we know that we're going to have a fork of Ethereum in which all the ERC20 tokens are going to be copied in the PulseChain network. And this is amazing. It's very important. It's amazing. And it's so cheap to have transactions there. It's so fast. We have a block every 3 seconds. So It's something very disruptive. And the important thing besides that is that, okay, we know what's going on with exchanges. We know what's going on with CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. They don't want to list X. We don't know what's going to happen with PulseChain. But at the same time, we know that Richard Hart is working a lot with the community that is cooperating with him and even independently to promote, we clarify, not as a financial advice, but in a good way about knowledge, to educate people about that. He is recording a documentary about Hex and PulseChain. And this is going to be something very important because it's going to help people to get to know about that. And then people can decide, like with Bitcoin. Of course, if you see Bitcoin on TV, oh, you know, there is this thing that it just goes up and down. It's very dangerous. Better to put money in the bank. No, we need something that says, like, I explained to you Hex and PulseChain like this, and this. And then you decide if you like it or not. That's what's very important. So let's hope for the mainnet to come at the right time, whether it is on November, December, January, February, whenever. But after all the checks they have to make, everything.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's what happened with Hex as well. I mean, just to be clear, Hex was supposed to come out at, you know, in 4 weeks, and it was like going to be in 4 weeks for about 6 months. It just like every few weeks was like, you know, someone would ask Richard Hart, when's it coming out? And he would be like, 4 weeks. And it was just a perpetual 4-week period for like ages. And that's because they were committed to getting the code as perfect as they could possibly get it. And I think, like, up until now, we're almost 2 years in, 100% uptime. I think you could say that it's been successful. It's been successful. You know, you can't. How could it, I mean? You could not say otherwise. It's been successful, and I would like Pulse to be the same. You know, in that respect, I would like them to spend the time they need to spend. You know, iron out all the bugs that they need to, and look, whether it's 1 month over here or 1 month over there, it's not going to make, that is not where the difference is going to be. The difference is going to be in them doing, you know, what they can, and they're very, very smart.
A quality product that works 100% of the time.
A solid quality product blockchain that's going to be functional. It's not experimental in that, like, the elements that it's taking are from pre-existing, like a blockchain fork, and then the consensus is going to be like they're going to use like BSC, you know, things, but they're going to change it a little bit. There's going to be a couple of little tweaks there so that they don't have to have the different blockchain. Like, for example, the BSC blockchain has, like, it needs the other Binance blockchain. It's like they're connected. It's a 2-chain solution or something. They're gonna get rid of that, and they're gonna have just like, it's gonna be
that network.
It's gonna be one network. So it is doing something different, but it is.
And the thing is that the longer it goes,
they've already. Sorry, go on.
Well, and the longer it goes on, it's just like more time for the doco to get made. It's just more time for things to be developed to launch on PulseChain for when it comes out. And for those things that are being developed to have better front ends and to have better, you know, like more time and everything put into them. So the time is fine. A longer time, as long as it's not too long, like it's not like a few years or something like that. Like, as long as it's just like, we're talking months or whatever, it's like, I think it's fine. It's just building anticipation, if anything, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we are seeing milestones. Like, the testnet has only been out for like 2 or 3 weeks, but it's come out.
Yeah.
It wasn't there before. So we are seeing, you know, you can sync a node to the testnet. You know, you can do stuff. I mean, you can do stuff now. Like, you can actually do it. Whereas before we were just waiting around. Now you can interact and you can see what's going on GitLab.io .com/PulseChain.com. You can go check that out. That's where you can see the commits that are being made. So it's moving ahead. But look, guys, that hour has gone really quickly. We've got 5 minutes. So what we'll do is we'll end the stream now. Thank you very much for participating. We're going to be back in 5 minutes with an Italian stream. So is there anything you want to say? Just before we go, guys, please go to GabroMastro's YouTube channel and please subscribe. And if you've got family members, you subscribe and then get them to subscribe as well. If you've got Italian family members, because this is where you're going to get some great Italian content relating to Hex and Pulse.
And let's pump it on socials and all that. Do all those things. Anything, do whatever you can do. That's the kind of the Hex way, really, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. And if you want to go in on Telegram, you want to, maybe you've got some Italian cousins who are on Telegram, you can tell them to go to t.me/Italia Hex. And that's a great Hex channel with some great admins in there and a community that's growing and growing. So get in there if you want to learn more about Hex. So we'll be back for the Italian version in about 5 minutes. So you guys have a toilet break and we'll see you back soon.
See you, everyone.
A tra poco. See you.